Hello, my name is Nate Wolf. I am with MMI, and among the many manufacturers that we represent for the state of Indiana, I would like to take some time today to talk to you about Woodford. Specifically, the differences between the Model 19 and the Model 17 residential wall faucet. Now, the Model 17 is by far the most popular residential wall faucet that Woodford manufactures. And just looking at the two, you may not notice a difference other than the handle. So the Model 17 uses a circular handle like that, and the Model 19 uses an oval handle like that. Another way to tell them apart just from looks is the cap of each hydrant is actually going to say Model 17, Model 19, Model 14, whatever it is that you've got. But other than that, you may not see any differences, but there is one significant difference that you can't see that we'll get into here in just a little bit. But first, let's talk about some of the similarities. So neither faucet will rupture from freezing when the valve is shut off and the hose is removed. That's a very important part of that sentence, and the hose is removed. They both contain an integral backflow protection device, which protects up to 125 psi of back pressure. Actually, I have an example of that right here. This little black piece is the backflow protection device, or check valve, and this would actually sit inside the hydrant here, just like that. Okay, so inside the copper tube there, this is where what seals on the inlet, seals the water when you turn the faucet off. Now, this check valve is removable if you needed to. You can actually remove that for higher flow or for specific purposes, but it is a safety device. I recommend leaving it in there, but it won't void the warranty if you do choose to remove it. And we'll talk here about that with this point. So it's important to really understand that the Model 19 and 17 and most residential wall faucets from Woodford are not intended for continuous irrigation. They should not be subjected to more than 12 hours of continuous water pressure. And that has a lot to do with this check valve, actually. The tolerance of this inside the tube is so tight for it to operate correctly that it can actually, with extended use, more than 12 hours, let's say, it can actually rub a pinhole in the copper tube and cause a leak. So again, removable if needed, but recommended that we keep that thing in there. It's a part of the safety device we'll talk here in a second about. Some of the common features for the Model 17 are 3/4 inch male hose thread nozzle, which is pretty standard stuff for a residential wall faucet. We utilize a stainless steel seat where the stem would seal against the inlet, and basically that's just a small thing that Woodford does that makes a big difference. It increases the longevity and the quality of that wall faucet and prevents against corrosion back there, especially if that rubber washer were to wear out eventually. It's going to protect that from corrosion. EPDM packing to prevent leaking. We've got our packing nut here, and we have our EPDM packing seal right there. Full circle operating threads on the valve body and retainer. No lead solder. Standard O-size seat washer. Powder coated die cast aluminum handle. That's not plastic there. That's actually metal. Plastic upon request. And also an optional T-key available upon request and at an extra charge. And then we use an adjustable polycarbonate wall flange right there. Some great safety features that automatically come on the Model 17 and the Model 19 are going to be the atmospheric vent and the check valve that we already discussed right here. In positive flow condition, water is coming from the inlet through the tube and out the outlet into our hose. And when we go to turn this hydrant off, seals it off back here. If this atmospheric vent were not there, it'd be kind of like holding your thumb over a straw in a drink and pulling that straw out of the cup, and all the liquid is trapped in the straw, right? Because there's no atmospheric pressure coming back behind this due to your thumb being over the end of the straw. As soon as you let your thumb off, what happens? All the liquid comes out of the straw. We've all done that. Same idea here. This allows air to get behind that water and drain back out the hydrant as long as it's properly pitched. And it's important to notice that you got to have it slanted, right? There are adjustable flange here helps us actually pitch this hydrant at the correct angle for gravity to allow that water to come back out. This atmospheric vent is what allows air inside there to get the water out. Now, in a positive flow condition, you'll see water service actually pushes the check valve open, right? Water's coming this way. It's going to push on these little flanges here, pushes it down and allows water to come out around. Now, when we seal the hydrant, when we close the hydrant off, that check valve closes and it helps prevent back siphonage of water back through. So let's say we're washing our car and we leave our hose on and connected to our outlet, and we leave the hose in the bucket that has the soap and chemicals and whatever else we're using to wash our car. What can happen without these safety features, if somebody turns something on in the home or down the street, depending on how the plumbing system is designed, and it created a negative flow condition where it would actually pull some water back up through the garden hose and through the faucet, without that check valve and atmospheric vent, it can actually pull some of those chemicals back into the water supply into the home, which can obviously be a big safety concern. Now, as far as the Model 19, we have the same essential features as the Model 17, but with one significant difference. And that's going to be this patented resetting pressure relief valve back here. So we've got our check valve, right? And then this is our cutaway of the check valve in the Model 19. We've got this spring inside here. It's going to be a little hard to see, but there's actually a hole inside that set screw, inside that Phillips head. And together, they basically will protect this hydrant from bursting in the event that somebody accidentally left the hose on, right? Accidentally, not intentionally. So we accidentally leave our hose on, and let's say it's got the sprayer on the end, which really just traps all the water inside. And as that hose freezes in the wintertime, as ice pressure builds up, it's going to actually push the liquid water that's back here in the conditioned space that didn't freeze. Right, this is the wall. This is inside the crawl space or basement or inside the wall, whatever the case may be. This is going to be a little more conditioned. It's not going to freeze. It's going to be liquid water back here. So that ice pressure is going to build up and increase the pressure of this water as it traps it and continues to freeze this way. And at about 350 psi, that little spring will activate. Okay. So that little spring will activate, and it'll actually push a little bit of water out of that set screw, about a teaspoon of water, really, just about a teaspoon of water back into the water supply of the home, and prevent that hydrant from bursting. So it prevents it from popping a hole through the copper, because there's nowhere else for it to go. Water seals off back here from the inlet, so there's nowhere else for it to go. It's going to rip through that copper if that piston were not in play. So it's a huge advantage to the Model 19. Eliminates those callbacks, and eliminates the frustrated customer playing the blame game with the contractor of who left the hose on. Customer always says they didn't, even though there's no way for that to happen if they didn't leave the hose on there. So just eliminates the headache of all that. It's a great way to pitch to contractors, like in the springtime. How would you like to eliminate those annoying callbacks? Get rid of them for good. Most guys would love to do that. And they can do that with the Model 19. Another great feature is the 5-year limited warranty. That's unique to the Model 19. It is against manufacturing defects and specific to the Model 19. So just a couple differences between the 19 and 17 that make a huge difference in overall performance and operation. Got a nice little video here too to kind of clarify.
If you should accidentally leave the hose on in freezing weather, the patented pressure relief valve prevents the copper tube from bursting. The pressure relief valve will release the buildup of water pressure behind the expanding ice block by activating the pressure relief valve when pressure reaches approximately 300 to 350 pounds per square inch. Your faucet will be full of ice, and faucet will not operate until thawing occurs. However, you will not have the cost and hassle of replacing a burst faucet.
Another nice item that Woodford offers is this adjustable operating rod. This will turn any residential wall faucet from Woodford into a Model 19, or at least give it that technology of the PRV preventing a burst if somebody would accidentally leave the hose on. So you can purchase these little kits. They're called an RKADJ PRV. That just stands for Repair Kit Adjustable Pressure Relief Valve. This is a perfect thing to keep on a contractor's truck because it comes with all the pieces you would need regardless of the length of hydrant in the wall. So a customer or a contractor shows up to a customer's home and doesn't know what size, what length the hydrant is on the home in the wall. Can't see it, can't measure it. This gives them a way to just stock one item on their truck and cover anything from 6 inches all the way up to 16 inches. Now, as you can see in this picture, it's basically got links that you can connect with 2 clips, and they're color coordinated, so you can figure out exactly which one you need to use for what specific size. This kit comes with everything you see there, the handle, the packing nut, the screw, the EPDM packing, the 2 clips, and then the stems, all the different links for the stems. So one SKU covers a multitude of product, and again gives any residential wall faucet the technology that the Model 19 offers to protect it from bursting. So hopefully by the end of this you're more comfortable, more familiar with the Woodford Model 17 and the Model 19, and can talk to your customers about the differences, as well as turning any other residential wall faucet from Woodford into the Model 19 technology. I want to thank you for your time. As always, if you have questions, you can give us a call. We are working normal business hours through these strange times that we're in, but we are readily available and would love to chat. So just give us a call at the number there, or send your orders into the iFax at mmirep.com, and we can get them processed and shipped. Appreciate it. Thanks.